Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Terry and I'm an English learner. I've been learning the language for the past 3 years, and my goal is to achieve native level of fluency and proficiency in English and get rid of my accent. In my first video, we were talking about what might be holding people back from learning a second language later in life. And if you ever felt like you are too old to start learning a new language, you might want to check this video out. Today, I'm excited to share with you a little story from my own life. I almost forgot about it, but a few years back, I happened to be at one of those meetings that some American missionaries here in Ukraine would organize, and they offered free English classes for everyone who wanted to join. And there was that guy, about 23 or 4 years old or so, and he was explaining something to the audience in the Ukrainian language. At first, when he spoke Ukrainian, I didn't give it much thought. I mean, obviously he had to be a Ukrainian, but after a while he turns to the person next to him and just start chatting in English with a perfect American accent. And I was confused. It kind of blew my mind because he just spoke Ukrainian without any accent like a local, and now he sounds 100% Yankee. And I was like, wow, how is that even possible? I started thinking maybe he is an Ukrainian, but he has been in the US for a long time, so which is why he speaks English so well. Or maybe he's actually an American and as a missionary here somehow picked up the language, which to me seemed pretty much impossible. And I got super curious, and I decided I had to figure it out. So we started chatting, and it turns out that he was born and grew up in the US, in Utah, and had never spoken a word of Ukrainian until he was sent here as a missionary, where he actually learned the language. But I should say it's not that he learned the language, he mastered it to the point where I couldn't even tell that he wasn't a native, and that's incredible. But the craziest part about it was that he managed to own the language in about 2 years, because as I learned later, this missionary job runs around 2 years, and then they rotate the whole team out. So the next team comes in and takes over for the next couple of years. Can you believe it? He picked up the language in about 2 years. I couldn't believe it because he sounded so natural speaking Ukrainian that I confused him for the local. And you should keep in mind that Ukrainian is not the easiest language to learn. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? So now when I look back and the more I think about it, I get this feeling that this guy's language skills wasn't just about his missionary job. I mean, obviously, as a missionary, being able to speak the language, local language like a native, it's super important. You know, when you're trying to connect the community and help them out, you gotta be able to communicate effectively, right? And also when you immerse yourself in the local culture and the way of life, learning the language to the native-like fluency, you demonstrate deep respect and appreciation for the culture, for the community, which is really beneficial. But I think this guy was also super passionate and into languages in general, because what I also noticed was that the rest of the missionaries were not so good at the language. They expressed themselves in pretty limited and broken language, Ukrainian. So I think while the missionary job was definitely a big part of it, I bet his passion for languages was what really drove him to work hard to get this native level of fluency. Well, this story from real life could be a great example that the fluency in the second language is definitely possible for all ages. And so in my next video, I hope to share with you some awesome examples of famous people who learned English later in life, and they reached the native level of fluency as well, and they got rid of their native accent. I mean, they sound 100% Yankee. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with the part 2 in the near future, and in the meantime, happy language learning.